I'm Adam, we are Fire in the Radio, and we are here today on Brutally Delicious. Brutally Delicious!
So first, for the Brussels sprouts, what you want to do is take your Brussels sprouts and you're going to wash them. And so depending on the size of the Brussels sprout, what you want to do is cut them either into halves or quarters. These are medium to smaller Brussels sprouts, so halves is just fine. So you're going to sit here and you're going to start cutting these Brussels sprouts. The next thing you want to do is you want to take your shallot. You're going to cut off the base of the shallot, like that. Cut off the top of the shallot, like that. Go ahead and peel it out, just to get down to the core here. So far we have the Brussels sprouts, we have the shallots. Next ingredient we need for this recipe is the bacon. So we got bacon. It's going to come down the line here. Take about 3 to 4 pieces of bacon. Go ahead and dice it out. In this case, like I said, we're going to substitute turbot because the Whole Foods here do not have sole, but petrale sole is always good if you can find it. Turbot's a little bit thicker than sole, so it'll take just slightly longer to cook. But it's a white fish, medium white, very mild fish, looks like this. Just cut it in half so we get them down to pieces like this. If there's any excess bone along the ridge or anything on the side, you want to trim it off, but again, this looks like it's been deboned pretty well. It's a little wider fish, so we're going to come down here, we're just going to cut it in half and make it smaller. A lot of times when you get the petrale sole, you're going to find that it's already somewhat in this size. It's in the smaller size, so you don't have to trim it. But like I said, if there's any excess bone or fat here, you're just going to come in and just trim off the pieces like that. Make a little pile here of well-trimmed fish ready to dredge.
I've never had this recipe before. John is, from what I hear, is an exquisite cook, and this is going to be a nice break from the traditional food that we eat on the road. So I'm ready to eat some sole.
So we're back here now. We have the fish all cut as necessary. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take our flour for dredging. And dredging just means we're going to coat the fish in the flour. So we go ahead and we put it into a plate, large plate where you can easily dredge the fish here. Okay, so 2 things with the fish here before we put them in the flour. The first is we're going to open up our kosher salt here. Get some salt, like so. Kosher salt is just a more granulated salt than regular salt for those of you who don't. Like so. Alright, just like that. So what we do now is we take the fish and we'll go ahead and put it in the flour. All you're going to do is flip it around a couple times, just like that. So first thing we're going to do is take our burner and turn it to medium. Whether you have gas or electric, you want to go ahead and get it right about a good medium temperature. You hear the bacon starting to fry up nicely in the pan. So you just want to let it get till it's basically brown and crisp. Remove that from the pan at this point. Now we're going to put those in the pan on top of the bacon grease that we have right here. And one thing you want to try to do is get them cut side down. So to the extent when you're caramelizing, you can get them cut side down. That makes it a little easier. So come in here like this. Just get a nice little coating. We're just going to go ahead and return those into the pan. Like that. And these should cook up pretty quick. We got some nice heat here. We're cooking.
So I'm sad it's not pasta, but I'm going to dig this fish very well, so I'm down for the sole.
Add in a little bit of the balsamic vinegar there. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and return the bacon. We're going to bring in the Brussels sprouts. We're going to mix it all together. Like that. You want to coat half the pan with olive oil and half the pan with butter. So about a 1/4 stick of butter and about 2 tablespoons, a tablespoon and a half of olive oil usually gets you there. And this is good for just about any kind of fish you're going to cook in a pan. So you want to meld that all together. Intermix the butter here with the olive oil. Now we're coming in with our sole, or in this case our turbot. So they're already breaded. You're just going to go ahead and lay them in the pan like this. Depending on how many people you're feeding, you can work in batches. You can cook half and then come in with the other half. So depending on the thickness of the fish, these are a little thicker than true sole. You usually cook it on medium to medium high for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes aside, and you're going to flip it.
Thanks, John. I won't be eating that. I don't eat fish. There's some neon sour gummy worms in the van. That'll probably be my lunch at this point.
It should just come out to be nice and golden brown, just like that. And again, you can use this same kind of recipe on just about any kind of fish. It'll cook up nicely for you.
Did you ever... Something fishy around here.
If you take your spatula or your knife and just cut it, it should just, nice and easy, come right off like that. That's how you know you've cooked it just right. Take the white wine. And you pour it in the pan. And what you see happens here then is that you can scrape the bits of the pan, all the fish in the bottom just comes right off the bottom. So we're going to use this to make a sauce. And again, I like to use at least a half a stick because you're going to make what's called a roux or a French sauce. This is a French recipe. We're going to go ahead and we're going to squeeze those into the sauce. And you want to juice at least about a lemon to a lemon and a half, depending on your preference, into the sauce and depending on how much juice you get. Because you definitely want to get some of that lemon flavor here onto your dish. Okay, you're going to just take that sauce and you go ahead and pour it on top of your fish. Like so. And you got your Sole Meunière.
This is fantastic. John can actually cook.
He absolutely can. This is
He does
delicious.
He does,
Buttery. Tastes amazing.
He does have some usefulness.
He really does.
It is brutally
Brutally
delicious.